reading, stop me and make your observation, okay? Don't just let me go. Don't be embarrassed. Just raise your hand and say, I've got something here that's kind of interesting, okay? Can you draw out Leviathan with a fish hook or press down his tongue with the cord? Now, I immediately stop right there. A fish hook? You know, I don't know. And you guys go deep sea fishing? What sort of hooks do you use?
Huge ones.
Huge. Like?
Yes, big. Yeah, big ones.
There's no telling what they were using. It might have been bigger than that even.
Yeah.
So I want you to think of fish hook not in the typical, little, reel. Because you're going to be slung overboard and eaten up by this thing. Or press down its tongue, okay? Can you put a rope in his nose or pierce his jaw with a hook? Yes.
When I put that whole part together, I kept thinking, can you capture him with these things? A mere fish hook, a mere rope. It was not, and it wasn't even worth mentioning that you can capture. So the word capture came out in that whole part.
Yeah, yeah. Just essentially the tools of the trade are being utilized here, right? Yes, Mary.
I kind of see it as Satan coming out when he said, I'm going to sin and I'm going to be above God. And he's trying to say, even though I'm wicked and evil, I'm going to be like God and I'm going to do these things. And God say, no,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
That's interesting. Now, you guys know me now. I know I'm going to ask you to suspend Christian understandings. I know that that's there, Mary, but what we tend to do is project back my Christian perspective on a situation, and what I fail to do is to see it from their perspective. It's not that it's not there, because even as Jesse said, later on in the book of Revelation, and maybe even sooner because there are other references to Leviathan, we're going to see the dragon, we're going to see the serpent, we're going to see that old slewfoot character showing up again to becoming sort of a noun that's involved in all of these sort of things. And so Leviathan, I'll just give you a hint here. Leviathan is a term that's been used not only of this particular creature, but of anything huge in the water. Later on, it just becomes, a whale, Leviathan. Why? Because it's huge. Okay, so yeah, it's there, but I'm asking you to hold it. Wait. All right. Will he make many pleas with you? Will he speak to you in soft words? Will he make covenant with you and take him and with you to take him for your servant forever? Is he going to go ahead, David? Yes, I was just going to jump right in there. I need to hold back, boy. Go for it, David.
And speaking of this and being in the Old Testament, I was thinking back in terms of what God intended and Adam naming the animals. At some point in time, there was the Dr. Dolittle thing. Humans and animals communicate somehow, some way. But this idea of, will he speak to you? Will you take him as his servant? And jump forward to James where it says, every type of beast has been tamed. Well, I don't know how long ago somebody said, I think I'll be a lion tamer. I think I'll train this killer whale to jump through this. All this kind of thing, but this is talking about a creature that apparently, if it is just a creature, is its own thing, and mankind has no part of it. But talk about fish hooks. Think about what it takes to get a sailfish or a shark. They don't have the guy holding the thing; they have the rod into a stanchion because you cannot hold it once the thing gets on the hook. So forget about it.
Yeah, and then you're sort of tied down too, right?
You are in a seat with a seatbelt around you and guys there to help you.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Anything else there? Okay, all right. I mean, are you going to make this thing? What? And of course, the question is rhetorical. No. It's like what you're saying, Margie. You're not going to make this beast, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
The word that came when I was reading that part was interaction. Are you going to interact with this person and be a part of what he's done? Are you going to engage and be Those were Christians.
Yeah, Puff the Magic Dragon. Yes, Claire.
So the answer is no.
No. Absolutely not. That's why.
I know who can. No, I can't fight Leviathon, but I know who can.
Yeah, and we learn truly at the end, and other references to Leviathan, who can definitely, the one who creates the thing can tame the thing. Not just one who says, I'm going to tame the thing, because we've seen even in taming situations where the lion just gulps up the tamer. The lion. I remember the two guys in Vegas that had those exotic beasts, and how the one tiger, thinking it was protecting him, attacks him and nearly kills him, nearly takes his neck out. Okay, so we think we've got it made when we can tame these things, and then they turn on us one day. Why? Because they're wild creatures. They're not domestic. Can some of them be domesticated? Of course. Wild camels became domesticated. Dogs became domesticated, so on and so forth. Okay, got to move here. This is so cool to me. Will you play with it, with him as with a bird? This is my pet. Or will you put him on a leash for your girls? And I'm like, not even for my boys. Rough and scruff there. Will traders bargain over him? Will they divide him up among the merchants? Any observations there? No. Okay. Can you fill his skin with harpoons? And this is where people get the idea that this is a whale. Because they're going after this thing with harpoons. Well, this is no mere lance. This is harpoon, and this is like huge. Those things are, the points on some of these harpoons are about like that. And of course they're sticking, and I've seen them kill whales. And I was in the Navy, so I remember going through a place in Norway where they brought in the whales and they cut them up, and so whales can be killed, no matter what size. The sperm whale, the right whale, the whale fish, they can all be killed. Okay, so a harpoon is not going to do this. The weapons of your warfare. I'm kind of entering into my Christianese here, are going to have to be a whole lot more powerful, and you're going to have to be a whole lot more skillful if you intend to take down the beast. All right, and we'll get more into that later, because now you're entering into a whole nother way of doing spiritual warfare. But no, you're not going to be able to do it here. Anything else? Yes.
As believers, we all answer no, but the world answers yes on a lot of an ads.
I like the answer yes. I want you to develop the yes. Yes, why? Blah, 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 blah. Extrapolate. Go into a little bit more detail than the typical yes, or the typical Christian way in which we look at these things that are in ancient times. Okay, so yes, absolutely. This is interesting. Can you fill his skin with harpoons or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hands on him. Remember the battle. You will not do it again. So there's been some warfare here.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Where they went after this thing. Mighty men of valor. Anything there? Any observation there? Behold, the hope of a man is false. We are going to go out, we're going to get that thing. We're going to bring him in today. Yeah, I know we've all tried, but we've got a modern harpoon. Okay? He is laid low even at the sight of him. Oh, you said it was big, but I didn't think it was that. Or that. No one is so fierce that he dares to stir him up. Who then is he who can stand before me? You can't even, and God is like minimizing this, this creature that he created, although on earth it's huge. You can't stand against this thing. How do you hope to stand against me? I'm God. I created it, or him. It's interesting, the reference is, it's not it, it's him. I don't know, that's kind of interesting. Who has first given to me, that I should repay him? Whatever is under the whole heaven is mine. This is God talking. I will not keep silence concerning his limbs. So at first I was thinking maybe this was a no, it's a type of, I thought I wrote it down, but I may have. It's a type of dinosaur that swims in the water. It looks like a long-necked,
Loch Ness monster.
but it has, yeah, kind of. It has, this is
Bigger.
yeah, Loch Ness Monster is probably a dessert for this guy. But not claws, but fins. Parasophagus or whatever. Or something like that.
No, that's marsupial, not parasite.
Right. This is, yeah. So, anyway, but it says concerning his limbs. So I'm thinking perhaps the limbs are clawed limbs, but it doesn't talk about his claws. So perhaps they're fishing type, like a seal or or an elephant, sea elephant. Walrus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the picture of the word of the dinosaur you described, but huge creatures similar to maybe the size of a brontosaurus, but in the water.
Yeah.
And yes, having fins, but it being so huge that I think about the reality of when a ship is sinking, if a person is near it, it will be sucked under.
Yeah,
and
because of the
ship
current
goes.
that it creates.
Yeah, and I did some research because I watched a movie last year with my wife. There was an actual incident of which the story Moby Dick was based on. A whale attacked the sailing ship that was after it, and the whale simply rammed the ship and the ship went down, which is not normal for a whale. They try to get away from the ships. But in one case, there was a whale that said, hey, I'm going to come after you.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the ways in which tales become sort of like etched in our literature, in our minds. Moby Dick, Herman Melville, the writer. Okay, so I need to speed it up here. Who can strip off its outer garments? Who would come near him with a bridle? Are you going to ride this thing? I don't think so. Who can open the doors of his face? Around his teeth is terror. So these are sharp teeth. His back is made of rows of shields, shut up closely as with a seal, and no air can penetrate this thing. So these are locked together, with such. And just to give you kind of a, so there's on the back, and you might think, well, if it's an alligator, crocodile, which some people believe, you can kill an alligator and a crocodile because they have a armored top, but underneath it's very soft. So you can just turn it over and, jab that thing and kill it. This is different. Okay? One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They clasp each other and cannot be separated. His sneezings, this is cool, flash forth light. And his eyes are like the eyelids of the dawn, very bright. Out of his mouth go flaming torches. This is a type of sea dragon. There's fire. This is not just made up. This is not Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck or what's that guy, Sam, with the mustache?
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam. This is none of that. This is different. Out of his nostrils comes forth smoke as from a boiling pot and burning rushes. His breath kindles coals. His breath kindles coals, meaning setting them afire. All right? A flame comes forth from his mouth, and his neck abides strength. Terror dances before him. His heart is as stone, hard as lower millstone. Man, it's fixed. You know, millstone, right? which is sort of how they crush grain. There's a lower millstone that is stable. The one on top goes around, and people are pushing it, or animals are pushing it, so forth, and causing it to be, I don't know, what do you call that? Like threshed. Okay, I'm going to stop right here because I know Sheila wanted to make, I thought you had a comment about that.
At the end.
Okay, well, I'm almost there, so. Okay, so clubs are counted as stubble. He laughs at the rattle of javelins. So javelins, swords, spears, what else? Harpoons cannot touch this beast. Folks, I read somewhere that this beast is extinct. This beast is extinct. I don't think so. There are places in the ocean where human beings have been unable to go because the pressure there is so great. This beast, symbolically or metaphorically or real, I think is probably still lurking for a time when God is going to judge it in such a way. So here's where I think the metaphor and the symbol comes in, because I think it's representative of human strength and ability. Remember, right at the end here it says, he sees, the very last line, he sees everything that is high. He is king over all the sons of pride. So it could be, if you think about this, that people were talking about, here comes David. David is Leviathan. Look how he struts his stuff. He's tough as Leviathan. You know, we do that today, don't we? We ascribe certain kinds of things to people and say they're like this, they're like a lion, they're like a sheep, they're like a panda bear, they're like a grizzly, all right? We ascribe these kinds of things to people to indicate the kind of person that they are. That person, it says, and I didn't read it, oh, here it is. We go back up a few lines. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. The Hebrew word there is elim. Elim. The Message, which is not a translation, says that this means angelic beings. When angelic beings see this creature, they are afraid. Possibly because B'nai Elim or B'nai Elohim are talking about spiritual beings, not human beings. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that we're not talking about angelic beings. We're just talking about mighty men. Where do we get the mighty men thing in the scriptures over in Genesis? Do you remember where the mighty men begin to show up? Right? The Nephilim, that are sons of the angelic and human connection. They become the mighty men of renown. And we have all kinds of people. Gilgamesh is in there. Who's the other guy that the Bible mentions? He's a city builder. Forgot his name, but he's another mighty man.
Nimrod.
Say again?
Nimrod.
Nimrod. Okay, so all of these mighty men are going after this creature to kill it. But when they see it, they're afraid. So the typical person is afraid. Okay, and God is saying, listen, I created this beast to play in the oceans. There's no indication that this beast has ever been killed by a human being or by a mighty man. So if it's real, it's still there. What is it doing? Sleeping, lying dormant. For what? For such a time as God knows, when judgment will come upon the earth, and God will make amends. Any last words?
Well, I just want you to really, when you and I were having a conversation at home, and you were talking about the end and the revelation and the spiritual beings and what's going to happen, and us understanding that. I want you to, the whole idea of the spirit realm and what we're to do.
Yeah, I don't remember the precise conversation, but
Just
And
a
rather
few
than you
minutes.
becoming afraid, I really want you to see this as, God is the one who created it. God is the one who can take it out. Okay? And that also, when you think about doing spiritual warfare, there is a way to do spiritual warfare where you don't bring a reproach against the name of God or against yourself. There are times when we are going into their realm up there where we don't belong.
That's the point I want you to make.
Where we don't belong. When angelic, remember I've said this all last year, when angelic, spiritual, demonic beings manifest in the earth, they're on our territory. They're in our territory. We have a right to stand against them. But there are certain kinds of spiritual beings, such as, let's take Lucifer or Satan. Michael the archangel is arguing with Satan over the body of Moses. And what does Michael say?
The Lord rebuked you.
The Lord rebuked you. Didn't bring an accusation against him. Could have just gone out there and made warfare, except that there's an equality within their spiritual being or lineage that you and I need to be aware of. Before you start going out there and doing spiritual warfare, you better know what you're up against. And I'll always come back to my dream, and I'll stop right here. I know this. The dream that I had where I'm breaking the back of a little imp, right, that's attacking everybody. I took it, and I took it over my back, and I slung it against the wall. And the minute I did it, a bigger one came and pushed me back into the wall. Now I knew what I was up against. And then what it was going to take in order to defeat this one, not that one, that I had learned how to defeat. I learned how to defeat that lower caste, and now here comes a higher caste. I need to learn how to do that. I need to prepare. And John Paul Jackson says this, when it shows up in your dreams the way it did mine, you can actually go back into your dream, ask the Lord to equip you to go back into your dream and to take authority.
Okay, time to go. There'll be more next week, but look, you're not going to leave here with fear, because I'm not afraid. This doesn't make me afraid. This makes me go, wow, what authority we do have, and what we're looking forward to, and what kind of God we serve. That's how powerful He is. But know your place in the spiritual realm, and ask God to give you wisdom, discernment, and understanding. So to know how to navigate your life with what? Wisdom! Amen? Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for this awareness. Thank you for a new understanding. Thank you for giving us eyes to see and ears to hear. Thank you for giving us courage to face our future, because we know what kind of God we serve. And I thank you for your blessed Holy Spirit that leads us and guides us into all truth. In the mighty name of Jesus. And everybody said, Amen. So next
See you
week,
next
more
week.
of it.
We'll give you some more next week.